Okay, I'm gonna like this question. Your favorite villain and for what reason? I like my favorite villain. I love answering this question. I think my favorite villain is Orson and Walter.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And I also I used to not like Zephiel, but now I really like Zephiel.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I like Orson and Walter is because they sort of changed the entire tone of FE8.
Yeah.
Because Orson, look, when I was doing my FE8 review video, like this is what happens in whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing the game and I don't really remember Orson being that significant, but like the reason he does all this stuff is because Leon promises him that Monica will be back, and he gives him Monica, but it's her corpse, and all she can
like
say
a zombie, right?
and all she can say is darling, and like Orson is like he's just like done, like he's completely shattered. He's a shell of himself, and he's like obsessed with this dead corpse, and like literally the most vivid moment of that game was when they kill Orson and then they open the door and they just see this corpse and it's muttering darling over and over and over. Like it doesn't have to explain anything. Like, you know what's going on. Like, you know, it's just this corpse on like a chair or something and it's just like rotting away, but it is Monica.
Yeah.
And the fact that it is Monica is like that. It's all Orson needs. It's all Orson needs is that it is Monica. And for me, it was just like this super like sobering moment, and it was just, wow, this game just pulled that.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, someone will probably correct me, but I think it was a good plot twist too, because I don't think there was really that much to imply that it was coming either. And then that was a whole chapter where he was the boss. Yeah
Because he took over Renee.
Yep.
And like Renee just became like Renee after he took over Renee sucked. Like Renee was like, it was like Orson didn't give it. He doesn't care about Renee. He cares about Monica.
Yeah.
Like, that's all. And with Walter, I don't know if you know his full story, but this is one of the reasons why I love Dussel so much, is because Dussel gave Walter a lance, like this cursed lance. And this was the lance that, if I remember correctly, was the thing that made Walter go crazy. And so Dussel is responsible for Walter going mad. And then Walter becomes this psycho, like, just like this crazy dude. And there was the part where in the desert when Erica fights Walter, and he says something that really implies that Erica, like, he wants Erica to be like his slave. And it was just like, what is this game even? Like, this is dark stuff. Like, I was talking with my friend and I was like, man, FE8 like low key is the darkest game in the franchise. Like, it just pulls these little subtle like hints that this game is a lot darker than its other games. And it was like Walter's just like, I want to chain you up like a bird or something. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That jogs my memory when you said that. Yeah.
Yeah. And my next one is Zephiel. Now, it took me a while to appreciate Zephiel, because at first I was like, this guy's just this boring, like, whatever, he just wants to destroy the world, no biggie. But the kind of villains that I have an affinity for lately in Fire Emblem are ones who are just like huge, like, general king guys with a bunch of armor who give absolutely no about anyone else, who are just like, they aren't like, their mind isn't corrupted by like some dark force like Leon was, or like Ashnard was kind of. Well, Ashnard wasn't really corrupted. Wasn't it the medallion though, or something? Yeah, the medallion, like, he touched the medallion at the end that made him go crazy, but before that he'd never touched it. But like, enemies, like bosses who are just themselves and they aren't corrupted by an outside force and are just straight up like salve, like, those kind of guys are the ones I like these days. And for that reason, I don't like Leon that much. I really don't. I'm not really impressed with him as a villain, because he doesn't like, like, aesthetically, I like a villain who's just like beefy and will just like you up. Like, he's just like a general king and he just does not care.
Yeah,
he does
his animations are good too, with the swinging around.
Yeah, he just like Zephiel's a guy who like has a goal. He doesn't care how it's done. He just gets it done. Like those super ambitious guys who give no like literally terrifying people.
Yep.
Like those kind of villains are the ones I like. What about you?
Yeah, and you know, he was interesting too because he was a kid in Fire Emblem 7, and I don't remember his full story. I read it at one point like on the wiki because I never played Fire Emblem 6, but that was a sad story too, and so like you understood why he was so evil there. Yeah, and I definitely agree with what you said about Fire Emblem 8 being like a little bit darker than it seemed, because I think if I remember correctly, at one point you kill this Manakete boss near the end of the game, and like they don't ever outright say it, but I'm pretty sure it's like heavily implied that it's like Myr's father, like the Manakete, yeah, the Manakete that you have. So it's like there was some messed up stuff going on there.
It was like these subtle things like that you might miss the first time.
Yeah. And that also makes it better too, going back, especially these days. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a favorite boss, though, I really liked the Demon King in Sacred Stones. There wasn't really anything that special about him, but I liked his design. And these days, it just seems like we get like what, Grima or something like that, you know? Like it's just this like dragon-esque boss.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna say like Nurgle in Fire Emblem 7 was pretty cool. I don't know. There's not like a character thing about him that I really liked. I think it was just because it was the first time around that, you know, I'd been playing a Fire Emblem game and I just liked what he did. And I liked the morphs that he created. I thought that was pretty cool. And the twists a little bit at the end of Fire Emblem 7 I thought were pretty interesting, like what he did and what happened with some of the characters. So yeah, I'll go with Nurgle.
Yeah. What's a villain you don't like that much? Like just you don't have to explain why, but there's other questions here.
I got it. So I haven't finished Fates, and that's like a real shit. Like,
oh god,
I don't have a problem with the newer games being like waifu emblem games. Like I'm okay with either. I definitely understand both, you know, sides of the community that like, you know, either the old school or the new school. I think there's a place for everybody because at this point, you know, Awakening did save the franchise, so. You know, moving forward, I think everybody's just gonna have to get along in one way or another, and that's the good thing about Echoes too, because I think that might show a lot of the new people, hey, here's how it was old school. Maybe you'll like this, and I think it also gives all the old school fans a new game to play and enjoy again, right? If they didn't like Awakening or Fates, but yeah, I really need to finish Fates, and I just haven't. I'm like at the end of Birthright, and I started a Let's Play with Conquest, but. I'm not good at keeping up with Let's Plays. Like I don't know. I just never stick through with them. So I'm only a couple chapters in on that. And then obviously I haven't played Revelation, but Garen, like, I don't know like any spoilers about the end of Fates at all really, but just how cartoony Garen, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't need to know. I don't think there's a real plot twist with him because he's just such a cartoony villain. And the fact that
nothing happens. Like he's literally the most oh my god. Yeah,
it's just straight up evil with every sentence. Nobody cares. They're like, okay, Dad, thanks. Like, you're not trying to get us killed. It's cool. And the fact that they had a manga writer do Fates, I think, just really that makes me mad. You know?
Yeah.
Like when they didn't have manga writers, I thought the stories were better. So I don't really know what happened there. And that's not that's not to crap on it for anybody. If you like it, that's great. But for me, like he was just so cartoony. Give me like a guy that's like. Okay, he's evil, but like you can maybe understand why he's evil, or there's actually some like good character development or something like that. But he just had none of that, you know?
Yeah. It is kind of tragic too because he had potential, but like, I think the manga thing. I think there was a writer who I can't confirm this, so you know, don't take my word for it. But I think he sort of outlined the story. But he didn't actually like full out write the entire thing. Okay. So he gave the outline out, and then I think people who were working on the story just rolled with that, and then they just gave us what Fates was. So I don't know if he's like chiefly responsible for like this awful story, but I can definitely understand Garen being your least favorite. I think that's a very acceptable answer.
Yeah.
These days. All right.